Hey, book besties. Welcome to More Than a Book Club podcast. I'm your host, Leyna.
And I'm your other host, LJ. And today we're continuing our last episode because it got so long. Usually like to have the next quarter new releases that we're so excited about. But that episode, I don't even know how long it would have ended up being.
Probably an hour and a half. It was already 45, 50 minutes whenever we signed off. And yeah, it would have been so long because there are some really good books coming out. So.
There are. So I'm excited. We're going to talk about the upcoming releases for July, August, and September because we're in the third quarter of the year, which is insane.
How did that happen?
I have no idea. Where did June go?
I don't know because it really feels like we just started summer.
Yes.
And now it's coming to a close. Like you start going back to school in a couple weeks now.
I know, it's so insane.
Yeah.
So
teachers have to start back, July 25th? Is that when you go back? Something like that?
No, not till August 3rd, but there is
so you have,
okay. I have a little bit of time, but in my school district, we do have a big professional development day that's optional, but it's where different teachers present on different things. And it's actually really cool that I really appreciate that they do it in the summer on a weekday because my previous district would do different ones, but they were always like on Saturday mornings throughout the year. And that's like a lot harder. This, they tell us like the date before the end of the school year, and then it's near the beginning of the next school year. And I went last year and it's insanely attended. So I'm excited about it. And I have friends that are presenting, so I'll get to go watch them. But yeah, basically next week is my last full week of summer because I also do public speaking camps. So that's crazy this coming week. Like, what? I need to go to the pool and work on my tan. So there we go. All right, let's get started. We have one that already came out. Okay, so since we are recording this later, July 7th, Pretty Dead Things by Kelsey Cox came out. And this one, when I saw it, I was like, ooh, I have got to get this because it sounds just up my alley. So it says, a psychological suspense novel by Kelsey Cox set in the world of Texas beauty pageants, where a disappearance from 25 years prior resurfaces during the annual Lone Star Princess pageant, leading to secrets, rivalries, and murder when a storm traps everyone together. Yes.
Sounds really good.
I know, and I did watch for 4th of July. If you haven't seen, my God, Drop Dead Gorgeous, which I had only seen for the first time a couple of years ago when Emily was like, I can't believe you haven't seen this. And so I watched it. It's also like, it's like a 4th of July. Well, it's not 4th of July, I guess. Maybe it is. It takes place in the summer and it's a Texas beauty pageant, dark comedy. Anyway. But yeah, I'm so excited. I got to get this
that one
like
does
now.
Sound really good. Yeah.
All right. What about you? What's one of your first ones for July?
So my first one for July comes out July 28th. So you still have some time to pre-order this one. And I actually got the ARC and I'm so excited. I was like jumping up and down when I got the ARC because this is one that I really want to read. I say jumping up and down, but I have so many ARCs and I keep requesting more and they keep coming. And I was like, what is wrong with me? But this one actually does sound really good. It's Fishbone Cinderella by Elizabeth Lim. It's a Chinese retelling of Cinderella. And it also has some historical fantasy in there. So the main plot is a young girl, Yut Ying. She escapes Japanese soldiers by turning invisible. So there's your fantasy world. Years later, as a servant in her stepmother's home, she loses a magical fishbone bracelet, changing her destiny. Decades later, her daughter Marigold must unravel the family's magical history to save her mother from disappearing forever.
Ooh.
And it just sounds super fun.
That does sound really fun.
And it's supposed to be set in the 1940s. And I don't know much about China in World War II. Like that's where the mother is set. So I know that, I'll learn something from this, even if it is a little bit of fantasy mixed in there. It'll have the historical aspects of it. And then it talks about after the war. So I think it sounds really interesting. And I haven't read many Cinderella retellings. So that'll be...
I think the only one I read Cinder, and but that one was very different.
That's the spicy one, right?
So, no, it's like a YA that's like, I forget what the name of it is, like the whole thing, but there are characters from different fairy tales that get brought in throughout, but the original main character is Cinder, and it's like all one big thing and more characters come in, and it's really good. But that's all I remember, and I read all the books, so that was a few years
There you
ago.
go. So what's your next one? Because I know you said you had a few for July.
I have 4, so I have 3 more.
Okay.
All right, so what is today's date? We are recording on July 11th. I bet a lot of people are getting married today because it's 7-Eleven, and on a Saturday,
Why
you
did I
know?
not go get my free
You still
Slurpee?
have time. You still have time to get a free Slurpee. But when y'all are listening, it's not 7-Eleven. But anyway, so July 14th, The Romance Revival by Christina Lauren, which is an upcoming romance novel about a scientist who uses classified technology to bring her husband back to life after a tragic accident erases his memory of their marriage, giving her a second chance to win him over. The book blends romance with sci-fi and mystery elements, focusing on themes of second chances, memory, and rebuilding a relationship, which I think that sounds really good. It also reminds me, there was a true story that there was a book and then it was made into a movie with, I think, Rachel McAdams and maybe Channing Tatum, where something like that happened. And it also changed her personality, maybe, and how he had to try to get her to re-fall in love with him because it was his wife and he loved her. And anyway, but I'm sure this one, I mean, I feel like they do a good job of having serious stuff, like serious moments, but then it's also lighthearted.
Yeah, they
So,
do. I was going to
so
say
hopefully it'll
there's
be
a
fun.
Leanne Moriarty book, and she's an Australian author that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But she has a
Ooh,
book about the wife forgets everything, like forgets she has children, gets amnesia, but it's going back to her and her husband and were they happy and kind of the mystery aspects of it.
is that the husband?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, I
I
did
can't
read that.
remember.
And
She has so many books out.
no, but like you're saying that, and I'm like, no, I read that. And every time I would see the husband, I'm like, I remember that was like my favorite of her books, but I could not remember the plot. And now that you're saying that, I think that was it. And it was very well done. So
Yeah, I love her books. I know she had The Husband's Secret,
maybe that's what it
so
was.
it might be a different name
Maybe
for
it
the one
wasn't
that I'm
that.
thinking of. But it is a good book.
Maybe that might not even be it. It could be something else. I don't know, guys, but the plot that Leyna said, it is really good.
And I actually had the Christina Lauren book on my list too, because I was like, I love Christina Lauren. Usually their books are, like you said, lighthearted, but also cover some bigger themes.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I enjoy them. But
Yeah, they are
anyway, so
good.
I only have one more for the month of July. So this is like the opposite of our literary
Yeah,
lately. So why
I know.
don't you
I
go
know.
ahead and give us 2 more, and then I'll go on with my
That's
last
fair.
one.
Okay. I have 2 more books for July. So one of them, July 21st, Daughters of Naples by Diana Giovinazzo. It's a World War II historical fiction novel following 3 sisters in Naples, Italy, as they navigate divided loyalties and the resistance movement inspired by real women. The story centers on, I don't know how to pronounce these Italian names, but I'm going to do them like Spanish. So I'm guessing it's Marcella, but maybe Marcella, and Bianca Cozzolino, exploring themes of sisterhood, romance, and survival as they take different stances during the war, from running a dress shop to joining the Partigiani, which is the Italian resistance. It's described as a fast-paced, immersive read perfect for fans of Kristen Hanna and Elena Ferrante. So, I mean, that's right up
Okay,
our alley, Lena.
it's right up our alley, and I have been looking for books set in Italy because I'm going in October and we're going to Naples. And I was like, ooh, that hits 2 of my, like, 2 birds, 1 stone, a World War II book and a book of where I'm
Italy.
traveling to. So
Yes.
there you go. I think
So
I'll
there
have
we
to read that
go.
one.
I think you will too. And you know I'm gonna. So
Hmm.
the last one I have for July, it comes out July 28th, Getting Away with Murder by Sherry LaPena. And I feel like we've talked about her before, and we looked her up, I think. And I think I gave 3 stars to both of her books that I read, but this one still sounds good. But
I think we talked about it on the last episode because she was
I think
supposed
so
to be
too.
coming to McKinney, but she's not
Yes.
anymore. And I had been reading some of her books in
Yeah.
advance of her
Yeah.
coming. So
Hmm.
anyway, back to you.
back to me. It's a domestic suspense novel about a wealthy couple, Jill and Ted, who plot to murder a family member to inherit millions and save their beloved brownstone after Ted's bad investment depletes their inheritance. The book is her 10th thriller, and it explores themes of greed, jealousy, and desperation as the couple tries to execute their perfect crime, but finds themselves entangled with other characters who also want a piece of the money, leading to blackmail and suspicion. It's described as a twisty, fast-paced thriller that questions if anyone is truly who they seem.
And it sounds good. And like we said, I think a lot of hers are 3 stars for me, but that doesn't
Mhm.
mean they're not good. That doesn't mean they're not fun to read. They're just not
Right.
fantastic. So
Yeah. Anyway. All right. August releases. How many do you have for
wait,
August?
wait, I have one more July.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Go ahead.
My last July. So this is a book,
Oopsies.
Daggermouth by H.M. Wolfe. It was originally published as an indie book in December 2025, and it was so popular that it got picked up by a trad publisher. So this date, July 28th, is when it comes out, but it has, like, some people have already read it. I can't remember how many they said that had read it before, it got picked up. But this is a dystopian romantasy, enemies to lover, romance, dark romance. And some review that I read was like, it's explicitly spicy.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, dark romance is not really my genre. I don't know. So I'm curious how that plays into it, because if it's too dark,
Yeah.
I don't know. But the plot is a mercenary, Shadera, fails to kill the president's son, Grayson, and is forced to marry him, leading to a dangerous, passionate, and rebellious relationship. And the longer description of it is set in a corrupt surveillance state ruled by the masked elite, this true enemies to lovers dystopian romance that's Conform meets V for Vendetta follows a mercenary who botches the assassination of the president's son and ends up forced to marry him. Whenever I read that, I was like, okay, Conform by, what was her name? I think we both read it.
Okay.
It was, I feel like Ariel something, but she was at the Texas Book Festival last year, one of the headliners. But Conform was really good. I really enjoyed that. It was dystopian, and it does have, like, Daggermouth and Conform do sound very much similar. So
Okay.
I'm excited to read it and try it. I feel like I've heard about this book, but as it was an indie book,
Okay.
not as a published book. So I'm excited to try that.
That
I
sounds
love
good.
dystopian. That's one of my, I was like, ooh, dystopian. So
Yeah.
it sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. August books.
So the first one I'm going to do, so all 3 of mine come out August 4th. But the first one I'm going to do is The Unknown by Riley Sager, because I did mention it in our Literary Lately because I just got to read the arc. And so I know I talked about it, but just to remind y'all, it's a gothic supernatural tinged thriller. Is that right? I said it right. By bestselling author
Yeah.
Riley Sager. It follows struggling actress Marion Keene on an isolated, legend-plagued Vermont island where 5 women mysteriously vanished in 1926. A century later, during a film shoot, similar disappearances begin again, forcing Marion to unravel the island's dark history. And I will say, it's an average Riley Sager. So if you like Riley Sager, you should read it. You will enjoy it. However, don't expect it to be the only one left or With a Vengeance, because I do believe those are his best ones. And this is more like regular Riley Sager. But I enjoyed
Okay.
it. It was
But
very
not
fast
Home Before
paced.
Dark.
But not I'm still mad about that
Okay.
book.
So am I. Okay. I just wanted to make
Okay,
sure.
anyway. Yes. All right. How many August books do you have?
I have 4.
Okay, good. So now we're balancing out. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
What's one of yours?
So I'm going to talk about the new book by Leanne Moriarty, because I just mentioned her. This comes out August 25th. It is Big Little Truths, and this is set 10 years after Big Little Lies. So if you haven't read Big Little Lies, it was like a huge book. It really kind of put Leanne Moriarty on the map. And then it was developed into like a
series.
mini-series. Yeah, because it actually did 2 seasons, didn't it? Or 3?
Yes, and then I think it did too, and I saw a thing because this new one coming out, and I heard they're gonna try to redo the series and do it maybe as a mini series because they changed to me, they changed big stuff from what I read up. I didn't finish season 1, and then season 2, because it wasn't based on the book, it's kinda like what I've heard with the last season of Game of Thrones. Like, it just wasn't well done because it was not as well thought out.
I only watched season 1, and I think Nicole Kidman plays one of the characters
Mhm,
because I believe
mhm.
Nicole Kidman has been in 2 different Leanne Moriarty movie shows.
Cool.
I don't know if, like, her production company picked it up, but it's set 10 years after. So all of the women's little children are now teenagers, maybe even young adults, some of. So this
Yeah.
is, like I said, 10 years later, they're still having issues. Imagine that. And they're dealing with teenage drama as well as their own drama. So
Mhm.
it's kind of one of those books. I love books that revisit characters. And
I
so
do
I'm
too.
excited to read this and just see, where did they end up? What happened? Because several of them, was it Celeste that Nicole Kidman's character played? I think it also had Reese Witherspoon in it. I don't
It
know.
did have Reese
But
Witherspoon, it had Shailene Woodley,
yes.
I think Alexander Skarsgård, if that's the hot one.
Hmm. Yes.
No offense to the others. We've got creepy looking and much older,
Yes.
because I think he's a brother
I
and not the father. Like, I thought he was the father, but he's just the older brother or something. Or maybe they are his kids.
I think
I don't
it's the
know.
uncle. I don't know, but
Or maybe,
Alexander Skarsgård, I think, is the one that also played on True Blood.
yeah, and he was in,
That's
I
the
think
hot
he
one.
and Nicole Kidman's characters were married. And we shouldn't give anything away. I have other things that I like remember, but I'm like, I want to read, but now I want to reread. I just forgot what the name of it is. What's the name
But
of the book? The
the
Big
not
Little
the
Lies.
husbands or okay, Big
Yeah, the
Little Lies. I
Big
was
Little
like the
Lies.
one we were talking about before. Yeah.
No, Big Little
So
Lies, and
I'm
then
I'm excited
this
to read
one.
that. This comes out
Hmm.
August 25th, so you do have time to reread Big Little Lies.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, my next one is another, because I think that one that I was talking about with the Pretty Dead Things with Kelsey Cox, I think it's YA because I just was trying to see if they had it at the library and they don't, but they have a different book of hers that also takes place in the Texas Hill Country that came out last year. And so I think it's YA. But anyway, that doesn't matter. But this one is definitely YA, I think. So Killing Sadie by Rachel Peterson. And it's a young adult thriller about the murder of high schooler Sadie Cooper at a party, told through the unreliable perspectives of her twin sister Jane, boyfriend Ben, and best friend Liz as they give conflicting accounts to the police. The story unfolds through their interrogations, revealing lies and secrets as they piece together the events leading up to the deaths of both Sadie and her alleged killer, Mason Vreeland, who was killed by Ben. And this is a debut novel. So I'm excited to read this. And that comes out
Is
August 4th
this
as
is this
well.
her debut adult? Because you said that you found another
No,
one that was
oh no,
YA.
that was the other author that I did
Okay.
first. This one is a YA and this is her debut novel ever. So I'm excited. It sounds really good.
Yeah. And another one set in Texas. So
And another
that's
one,
always fun. That makes me
oh wait,
always
no.
think of like,
Oh, wait, this one isn't. It was the one. So
oh,
confusing story. First author, first book. I tried to find at the library. It's not even there to put
okay.
in for a hold, but they had her book that came out last year. So I got, and the last one was indie published. I don't know if this one's also that one. The Pretty Dead Things is being. I don't know how it's being published. Maybe, but this one's Killing Sadie by Rachel Peterson. So anyway, sorry, very confusing. Too many books. All right.
I was
Anyway,
like, oh,
back to
it's set in
you.
Texas. Maybe it'll be at the Texas Book Festival. But
No, but maybe the other author will be. That would be
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So the next book I'm going to talk about is Time Travel for Beginners. And this is by Jacqueline Moriarty, who is
Ooh.
Leanne Moriarty's sister. So I thought that
Well,
was
that's
kind of a
cool.
fun twist.
That
And whereas Leanne Moriarty pretty much exclusively writes adult novels, this is only Jacqueline Moriarty's second adult novel. She's written a lot of middle grade and young adult books, but this
okay.
one is only the second adult one she's written, which I
Okay.
imagine living in Leanne Moriarty's shadow is difficult when you're both writers and one sister, like
Right.
she's hugely famous. Anyway, the
Oh,
premise of Time Travel for Beginners is a seemingly ordinary storefront in Sydney offers time travel, allowing people to visit the past without altering their own present, instead creating alternate timelines. So I love a time travel.
yes, you
So this
do.
sounds great. And it follows three characters, Anna, Teddy, and Jade. Anna is a single mother who takes a job at the agency seeking a new beginning. Teddy is a man trying to understand his failed marriage by revisiting the past. And Jade is
Okay.
a woman with a secret who is drawn to the agency despite her skepticism. So
Okay.
I think it sounds good. It has a mix of characters, and I love it. I do actually have this one as an arc as well. Imagine that.
Ooh.
So I requested this a while ago, but it does come out August 4th. So I better get to reading. I'm going to have some reading to do for that one. And this is also because Jacqueline and Leanne Moriarty are from Australia. And so their books take place in Australia. So this one is in Sydney. So yeah, I'm excited to read it.
Very
And I
cool.
always feel like I learn something about Australia when I read their books because it's such a foreign place to me. But
Yes.
anyway,
Yeah.
all right.
All
What's
right.
next for you?
My last one for August, it also comes out August 4th, and it's The Women in White by Sarah. I don't know how to say her last name.
Pekkanen?
Pekkanen. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. And it's The Women in White is a dual timeline thriller about a modern day caretaker, Riley, who uncovers a dark, decades old mystery involving four young women with psychic abilities who vanished after participating in a university parapsychology experiment in the 1960s. The story alternates between Riley's present day investigation and the past, where she learns about the women's experiences with a visionary scientist and the sinister turn the experiments took. It blends historical fiction, psychological suspense, and paranormal elements inspired by so.
Oh, that has me hooked.
I know, right? And I've read stuff by her. Didn't she do a book or two with another author as well? I think.
I don't know. The
Or
name
maybe I'm getting
sounds very
confused.
familiar, but I can't remember what she has written.
Yeah.
But I know that I had looked at that one because I was like, ooh, that does sound like when I saw her name, I was like, oh, I should
Yeah.
probably read the next book
Yeah.
by her, not the next book in a series. But it does
Right.
sound really good.
I'm going to look up to see
Too
what
many
I read.
books, too little time.
I know, for
Are you
real.
looking up what else she's written?
Yeah, to see what I read. Okay, I think I read Gone Tonight. Let me look. I've got her pulled up. Now let me see. Okay, yes, Gone Tonight, I gave 4 stars. And in this review, it says, I knew I recognized this author's name. She wrote The Golden Couple, and I did not like that one. I think I still gave
Okay,
it
I've
3
read that, and I
stars, but
think I gave it 3 or 4.
yeah. Yeah, let me see. That one, I think those are the only 2 that I've read. I'm scrolling. She has a lot of books, so I think those are the. Oh, and I read The Wife Between Us. Let me see what
Oh,
I
I read
gave
that
that.
too. Yeah.
I gave that one 4 stars. One that I read that was so good. This is the one I was right. She did write a book with Greer Hendricks. And to this
Okay.
day, I have no idea who told me to read this book, an anonymous girl. And someone was like, "Can you please read this? I need to talk about it with someone." And I read it and then I couldn't remember, and I've asked all the people that I could think of. Lena, it wasn't you. I probably asked you this
No.
years ago because I'm like, let me look at my friends who read it. I might have clicked on a name instead of that. I want to see 15 other friends marked as read. Okay. Let me see if
So I'm
any of
looking at
these
this
seem like
on the Google for
it had
Greer
to have been
Hendricks.
Ramsey. I asked Ramsey and she said she said no, I think. So I'm like, what the heck? Who was it? Anyway, sorry. Still
But
don't know.
Greer
If you're
Hendricks,
listening,
and you
then
know,
you tell me. Then tell me. All right,
so
anyway, go
Greer
ahead.
Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, they did You Are Not Alone together, The Golden Couple together, and The Wife Between Us together.
Okay, that's
So
what it
they've written
was.
several books together.
Together, yeah. Okay, see,
Mhm.
that's what I was like. I know that I swear she had written books together with someone. So this one is on her own though. So anyway. All right, what else do you have for
So
August?
I have 2 more. The
Good,
first
they're
one
both
is You'll Love
yours.
It Here. So You'll Love It Here
Okay.
by Natalie Sue.
Okay.
The published date is August 11th, so it'll be coming out in about a month. Mona thought her living situation was bad, but the real mess is just beginning. One day is all it takes for Mona's life to implode. After years of climbing at her marketing firm, she was supposed to be getting promoted and finally moving out of her crumbling apartment building. Instead, she's jobless, aimless, and still stuck in a space barely big enough for a yoga mat. Then her eccentric landlady takes a tumble and asks Mona to step in as the building's reluctant super. The deal is help prep the place for sale and she can secure the upgrade she's been chasing. But that's easier said than done when the neighbors treat boundaries as optional. There's the shouting couple, the mysterious shut-in, a possible panty thief in the laundry room, and Sammy, the relentlessly cheerful diner owner who keeps showing up with coffee and unsolicited ideas about the community. As Mona gets pulled deeper into the building's chaos and closer to the people inside it, she's forced to confront what and who she's really been trying to outrun. Sometimes the place you're desperate to leave is the one that finally shows you who you are. And this says that it's perfect for fans of The Wedding People and Anxious People. And I'm I loved both of those. So
same.
And I also have the arc for this one. I have a lot of reading to do, but
You do.
I'm excited to read that one too, because it sounds kind of like the found family. I don't know if that will be what it turns out to be, but kind of the different descriptions of the people. And I imagine her getting close to them. And yeah, we'll see if that holds true. The second one that I have, or I guess the fourth one I have, is a horror book. It's a horror/thriller. It's Stay Buried by Jennifer McMahon, and it comes out August 11th. And this is, I don't know if I'd ever heard of this author, but apparently it's the New York Times bestselling author of Children on the Hill.
Okay.
So it says, some towns stay isolated for a reason. In 1919, Franco Massey has always been the black sheep of isolated Boones Ferry, Vermont. Her uncle, Dr. Thomas Endicott, has been training her in the science of medicine, something the townspeople are wary of. When a mysterious illness strikes the town and the community suspects supernatural forces, the two desperately search for a logical explanation. Patient zero seems to be the town's Knackerman. I don't know what that is. A recluse who collects dead and dying farm animals to make use of their parts. Okay, never heard of that word. And then in 2016, siblings Ashley and Malcolm lost their mother 2 years ago. When their grandmother dies, they inherit a property in Boones Ferry, a place they've heard of, but their grandmother has always refused to talk about, and embark on a trip to their ancestral home. The idyllic town is full of autumnal decor, picturesque farmland, and small-town charm, but some of the townspeople aren't very welcoming, and they have some unsettling traditions, like leaving offerings to a vengeful spirit 4 times a year.
Interesting.
So I was like, that sounds interesting. And I'm going to Vermont with my mom. So I was like, okay, this could also be a good travel book. So
yes, very cool.
Just have to read it.
Are y'all, I mean, I assume you're flying into Burlington, but maybe not. Are y'all going to Burlington at all? Okay.
We are.
You have to go see Lake Champlain. That is where I used to take my dog Sadie to walk after we got her when she was a puppy in Vermont. And that's also where I got proposed to in 2005. So anyway, There you go.
I know we're going to go look at the leaves, but we're staying in Burlington, and my mom found a bookshop there in like the downtown area. And then I want to go to the original Tom and Jerry, not Tom and Jerry's, Ben and Jerry.
Ben and Jerry, the original Tom and Jerry.
That would be a different experience. So yeah, I'm excited to go do that. All right, September. I have 3 books.
I do too. So, okay, we're good. So my first one comes out September 8th, and it is the 4th and final book in Penn Cole's The Kindred Curses saga. And the name of this one is Burn of the Everflame. And it's a romantasy series about a healer named Diem Bellator, set to release on September 8th. The story concludes the epic fantasy with war in Amarion, an unlikely alliance between the crowns and a secret that threatens to destroy the world, all while following Diem's journey of self-discovery and love. Now, I have not read the other 3. I've been waiting because our friend Emily has read them. And this book has been postponed so many times. And I know that the 3rd book has a horrible cliffhanger. So it was supposed to come out like a year ago. Then it got postponed and then postponed again. So finally, we will see. I think the articles have said it really is releasing this time.
So
And so
is this wrapping up the series or?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's wrapping up the series. I don't know if they still are, but I have the first 3 from Kindle Unlimited, and I got them a couple months ago. So I don't know if they're still there, but if they are, you should grab them and be ready because if you wanna read these. But I know, like, our friend Emily was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so good." And so I want to read it, but I don't do well with bad cliffhangers.
No,
So I'm
you
gonna
do
need
not.
it to be finished so I can continue on. Anyway,
There you go.
all right, what's your
All
first
right.
one?
So my first one in September is The Pirate Queen by Ariel Lawhorn? Lawhorn? I'm
I
not
don't think
sure
we've
how you
ever
say it.
decided how to say it.
It comes out September 8th, and this is the author that did The Frozen River. And
Mhm.
that book was
So
amazing. I
good.
loved it. This one
Mhm.
is Grace O'Malley, which apparently was a real character, just not a
Love
real
it.
character, a real person, just like in The Frozen River. She
Yeah,
was born to be at sea, raised alongside her brother by their father, chief of the name of Clan O'Malley. That I typed that
it's
out and it
okay.
doesn't sound right. Chief of the Clan O'Malley. Grace learns early that her dreams of the open water are not compatible with the life she's expected to lead as the daughter of a noble family. And when her father marries her to the wrong man, a neighboring chief named Donhall, Grace's world shifts for the worse. Undaunted, Grace raises a family without abandoning her passion, aiding her hot-tempered husband in his campaigns against rival tribes. Eventually ousted from her husband's land in the wake of his death, Grace returns to her childhood home and begins her career as a pirate in earnest, claiming new territories and finding deeper love, only to see her livelihood threatened by English incursions into Ireland, and her family endangered in an attempt to check her power. Tenderly observed and fiercely written, Ariel Lawhon's gripping latest novel channels the natural beauty of 16th century Ireland alongside the brutality of the period as seen through the eyes of an unforgettable heroine and defender of her people who truly earned the title the Pirate Queen. Anyway, I'm excited to read that one. And she's coming to
That does
Dallas and I want to
sound
go see her, but her tickets are like $55, $60. And I just don't know
yeah, no.
if it's going to happen. Anyway, all right.
Yeah,
What's your next
yeah.
one?
My next one comes out September 22nd, Murder at the Grand Alpine Hotel by Lucy Foley, which I know Lucy Foley is hit or miss. Honestly, some of them are better than others, but this sounds really cool. It's a new Miss Marple mystery, as in Agatha Christie's Miss Marple, set in the luxurious Swiss Alps hotel where a murder occurs during a snowstorm, trapping the killer with Miss Marple, who must solve the case. The book is a modern tribute to Agatha Christie's classic style and features a cast of suspects with dark secrets. So, because of this, I do want to give it a shot because I do love the Miss Marple books. However, oh my gosh, who was it? Alice Feeney's Daisy Darker, which a lot of people loved. I hated that book. It was kind of an homage to And Then There Were None, but she did a horrible job. And so, as a huge Agatha Christie fan, like, I got real high expectations, and there's no way I can temper those. Like, I just don't think I can. I have such a love and respect for Agatha Christie that either I'm going to love this book or I'm going to absolutely hate this book. So,
Yeah.
but I still am curious.
I was thinking, because we always do Agatha Tober, which is an Agatha Christie book in October. I was like, I wonder if we could read that for Agatha Tober, or
No,
maybe read it. And I was going to say, maybe read it in conjunction with the Miss Marple
maybe.
book.
Maybe make it a subtle, a supplementary.
Yes.
All right, cool deal. All
All
right,
right.
what about you? What's your next one?
My next one is Exit Party by Emily St. John Mandel. It comes out September 15th. And if that name sounds familiar, she did Station 11 and Sea of Tranquility. I love her books. They are usually set in the future, not really dystopian. Like Station 11 is definitely dystopian, but not all of hers are.
Okay.
This is a breathtaking novel of doubles, shadow worlds, and fractured timelines as a man disappears from glittering LA party and a woman, a gun runner, an art collector, and operative of the state, searches for answers. Los Angeles 2031, the first spring after the collapse of the United States, peacekeeping troops withdraw from the city, The Jaraconda trees blossom and the curfew is finally lifted. Ari Walker and her roommate pass the gauntlet of bomb-sniffing dogs, the shanty towns, and the Red Cross tents as they walk across Silver Lake to a party. The mood is ecstatic inside the apartment. People drink and dance. A woman wears a silver dress, pleated like tinfoil. And then a shift. A bewildered twin, an uncanny doppelganger, stumbles through the crowd and into the night, and Kareem, the party's host, vanishes into thin air. As Ari Waker unravels the mystery of this inexplicable night, Emily St. John Mandel unfurls a story that takes us from a future America splintered by civil war to the seaside cliffs of Greece, where the weapons dealers hide in an elegant resort, from the doomed city of Paris to a colony on the moon. An unforgettable literary feat, Exit Party is a novel about the price of safety, the perils of the surveillance state, a requiem for a world not unlike our own, and a breathtaking story of resilience in the face of cataclysmic change. So this ticks several boxes for me because it sounds like you're having a time traveler. This also
Mm-hmm.
has some dystopian aspects to it. And then she writes so beautifully. If you haven't read her
Mm-hmm.
books, I would encourage you to read them. They
I
are
haven't. I
really
haven't.
nice.
Like Station 11 has been on my list for years, I think. I need to read it.
And Station 11 is good. And that's the one they
Mm-hmm.
made into
A show, right?
TV show. That is not my favorite. She has a couple
Ooh.
of books. I know The Glass Castle, Sea of Tranquility, and then now this one.
Okay.
Sea of
Which one would
Tranquility
you
was
recommend?
Sea of Tranquility was probably my favorite, but there
Okay.
are throwbacks to the other books. So as they come
So you
out,
kind of need
because
to read them.
I think Station 11 was first, and then The Glass Castle, Sea of Tranquility, and then Exit Party. So it makes me curious if Exit Party is going to, because Sea of Tranquility also took place in the future. So
Okay. Cool deal.
it will be exciting
All
to
right.
see the parallels.
Yes. Which now that
Next.
I'm thinking about this, I feel like Riley Sager's, I think it was maybe it was the previous novel. One of them mentions another book. Maybe it was this one. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like yelling, this book. Like it doesn't name the book, but it names what happened in the book. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know. It might not have been this one. Now I'm getting confused. All right. My last book also comes out September 22nd, and it's Well Versed by Jen DeLuca. This is the 5th book in her Well Met Renaissance Fair romance series, focusing on a second chance romance between Caitlin Parker and Alexander Wright, who reconnect years after their first heartbreak at the fair. The story follows Caitlin as she returns to her childhood bedroom to help at the fair and unexpectedly encounters Alex, leading them to confront their past and navigate their adult lives and dreams together. It's a contemporary romance with elements of second chance and enemies to lovers tropes. So I read the first 3 of these, and they were really cute. I went to look a minute ago, and I have not read the 4th one. I will tell you, these are open door and spicy novels. I mean, not the most spicy, but they're spicy. So just be prepared for that. But they were really cute. And I've never been to the Renaissance Fair, but I feel like if you have, then these would be really fun. Either way, without going, the first 3 were adorable. It sounds really cute, like a nice little rom-com. And yeah. So anyway, what about you? You've got one
My
more,
next
right? Or 2
one
more?
is also, I'm assuming it's a rom-com. It is Grim Tidings by B.K. Borison, and it's coming out September 15th. So I would personally read this as a Christmas book, a December book. So maybe buy it in September, have it on hand for whenever December happens. And this is the follow-up book. It's the second in the series. What was the other one that she did? It was at Christmas.
Something Spirits. I haven't read it.
Good
Right?
Spirits? Let me
Something
see.
like that. You read it. I didn't read it.
Yes, it's Good Spirits. And I loved Good Spirits. I thought it was very well done. And this is by the same author. And then she's also done First Time Caller and several other books. But it's a new whimsical haunting romance. When a runaway Grim Reaper tries to save a life, she clashes with a skeptical guardian, forcing them to form an unlikely partnership beyond the grave. Darcy Moore is tired of death, which would be fine and good if she wasn't a Grim Reaper. Determined to outrun her designation as the villain, Darcy decides she won't be dragging her next assignment to the underworld. She'll be saving him instead. Unfortunately for Darcy, there's a complication in her plan. Guardian Angel Gabriel Atos doesn't tolerate threats to his little corner of the world, and a Grim Reaper showing up at his bar is a deadly as it gets. But when he realizes Darcy is not as she seems, Gabriel must decide if he can trust his growing feelings or hold on to this long-standing grudge. But magic doesn't come without consequences, and the Department of Hauntings and Spirits will eventually come calling for their missing Reaper. And this is star-crossed lovers, death but make it corporate, grumpy times grumpy, and a guy who likes everyone except her, which is a different twist.
Yeah.
So I am really excited to read this one. I probably will get it in September and read it in December. I wish that it came out in July so I could read it for my Christmas in July books, but
I know.
alas.
Well, I was just thinking, because I haven't read any of the B.K. Borison books, but I'm like, I should read Good Spirits as Christmas in July. I have
think
it,
you got
so I
it.
should read it.
Yeah.
I did get it. I have it. I know where it is.
It's a really good book. And
Okay,
I
so
can't
maybe
remember.
I'll
I
do
was
that.
trying to remember if it's open door or just kind of like partially opened. I want to say it had some spice in it. I want to say it was open
Okay.
door and had a little bit of spice.
Okay.
I don't think A First Time Caller had a lot of spice in it,
Okay.
but I could be
I
wrong.
have that one too from Emily. I still haven't
Okay.
read it, but she lent it to me a long time ago.
They're both really good books. So those are all my books coming out. I will say that I had 2 honorable mentions. Deadbeat by Lee Bardugo. It comes out September 15th, and it's the conclusion to the Ninth House books, if you read those.
I forgot about that. Yes.
And I loved the Ninth House, the second one, and I think this is the third. If there was a
this
third
would
one,
be the third.
I don't really remember it. But
This is it. This is the third one.
this might be a read just to finish up the series.
Mm-hmm.
Hollow Bones by Jodi Picoult comes out September 22nd, and I just love most Jodi Picoult books. It's not Jodi Picoult. I went to one of her author talks, and she's like, Jodi Picoult. But she usually has really good books that have some sort of lawyer aspect, family drama, that kind of thing. So I'm all for it. But those are all my books for July, August, and September. Like I said, good books coming out.
Me too. Yep.
I'm excited.
So I can't wait.
Yes. So I hope that y'all found something that you can read. And I'm really glad that we did not have this episode with our literary lately, because we've already talked for 45 minutes. I'm sure by the time I edit it down, it'll be a little bit less. But
still,
we would have literally had an hour and a half episode.
Yeah. No, this is better.
Yes, it is.
So anyway, well, cool.
All right, friends.
Great.
Our revels have now ended.
There we go.
I got it.
Time. You got it. And I had already forgotten.
All right.
So, all right. Bye.
So we will see you guys next time. Bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you for listening to More Than a Book Club podcast. We are recorded and produced in McKinney, Texas.
Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.